But welcome to CEP Live. We've got a lot of information I'm going to be sharing on the screen to start for everybody. If you're interested in some email reminders about this program each week, there is a website and a QR code on your screen you can use to get weekly email reminders. We do CEP Live every week, and we really want your questions. We want you to be involved and interactive. So as you're watching today's presentation, feel free to use the Q&A or the chat to reach out to Alon, who's our presenter today, and let her know what your curiosities are. And a lot of people ask us after they watch our webinar how to get more involved with the Cognitive Empowerment Program. We do our referrals through Emory Neurology. And if you're interested, you can reach out to us for an appointment at the number that's listed on your screen. It'll come back around in a few moments. So if you missed it, no worries. And today's session is going to be recorded and posted to our YouTube page. You can access those previous recordings. I think we're about like 93 weeks of recordings now on our YouTube page. Feel free to take a look at those today. And today we're going to be talking about aging in place with one of our researchers, Alon from Georgia Tech. We've got a little bit of information about social fitness, nutrition, and getting outdoors coming up in the weeks ahead. So be sure to tune in and get those weekly email reminders if you want to be tuning in from week to week. So welcome to CEP Live, everybody. We'll just give everybody just 1 or 2 more moments. I'm really excited to share some of our research, a little bit different topic than some of the fitness programs we've been doing in the past few weeks. Again, if you want those email reminders, there's a link on your screen to be able to get weekly reminders to join in week after week after week. So feel free to use your phone to hover over that QR code. I'm excited to be able to offer access to experts. That's really what this webinar is about in terms of being able to connect with experts in mild cognitive impairment and researchers. So give us all your questions, drop them into the chat as you're watching around today. And to get curious about things, let us know. And if you want to make an appointment with Emory Neurology, the number is 404-712-5555. If you've been kind of curious about connecting with a neurologist in your area, if you're in the Atlanta area, make an appointment with us, especially if you want some of that cognitive testing to know where you stand in your memory loss and in your cognition. We really empower you to access the right clinicians as well. So we'll give everybody just 1 more moment. We've got a little bit of some conversations about social fitness, the mind diet, and getting outdoors coming up in the next few weeks. So stay tuned in, get those email reminders if you would like to join us in the weeks ahead. All right, well, I just want to welcome everybody to CEP Live. If this is your first time joining our weekly webinar, CEP is a really unique program that is a partnership between Emory and Georgia Tech. And the Cognitive Empowerment Program, our aim is to provide people with mild cognitive impairment and their care partners and families the opportunity to enjoy a lifestyle research program that promotes joy, purpose, health, and wellness after a diagnosis of mild cognitive impairment, one of the early stages that can, in some ways, and in sometimes lead to dementia. Our program at CEP, we have an in-person study where participants come in 1 day a week for a whole year and really try to answer the questions, what can I do? What are non-pharmaceutical interventions that support my wellness and my family's wellness after this big change in life? If you're not able to join us for in-person program, this webinar is an opportunity for us to do an outreach program with people all around the state to share about our research. And, we got everything from cognitive training, physical activities. We talk a lot about nutrition and the mind diet and all kinds of other topics that really support your and your family's sense of empowerment after a diagnosis of MCI. So we really want to revolutionize the experience of people that are affected by MCI and create this really comprehensive approach that can be replicated nationally, internationally. And if you've had a diagnosis of MCI, you know, a lot of times there's not many options. Maybe your doctor says, you know, change your diet, get active, start being more social. And we're here to support you in that journey. So this week, I'm really, really excited to offer a lot of information about a program that we've been participating in for a few years called the Innovation Accelerator. This is our research partnership with Georgia Tech that works to really inspire new lines of research. And we do that through seed grants, through offering money to researchers, a small amount of funding to get a team started. With this idea to figure out, you know, what is worthwhile, what works. And we sent that call to researchers out to everyone in the community. Outside of Georgia and Emory Tech, we have all kinds of people who've called that or responded to that call. And today we're going to be talking with Alon Little, who is a research scientist from Georgia Tech. She received her master's in public health from my alumni, Georgia State University, where she gained 7 years of experience in research on healthcare and health policy issues. So Alon currently works with the SimTech Design Lab to provide evidence-based healthcare facility and home design strategies for people with MCI and their families. And she supports this idea of multiple research studies that seek new information to build on design strategies at home. So I'm so excited to see about how we can use some of her research to inform what's happening with your quality of life at home. And her research project is titled Cognitive Aging in Place. Really trying to understand how design and quality in-home environments can help support early stage cognitive decline. This is something we talk about all the time. How do you stay safe and joyful in your home or wherever you live and doing the activities that you love to do? So she's going to kind of open up to some questions about challenges for some tasks at home. She's going to talk about some things that can help you stay joyful at home. So Alon, it's so good to have you here at CEP Live. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Megan, for that wonderful introduction. I'm so excited to be here with you guys, talking with you guys, and sharing some of the research that my team and I at Georgia Tech are doing on cognitive aging in place. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
I'm excited. This is a topic that comes up all the time at CEP. People want to know, how do we stay safe at home? How do we keep, you know, doing the things that we love to do? And I love that you're talking about how design and home technology can help support that. So we'll go ahead and pass it off to Alon. And she's going to give you a lot of great advice, but the session's going to be recorded today. So we'll post it to YouTube later this afternoon. If you want to kind of grab onto some of the information she's offering, we'll have it available for you later. So go ahead, Alon, kick us off.
Thank you so much, Megan. So as Megan stated, I'll be talking to you guys about cognitive aging in place. And so I know aging in place is a concept that a lot of us are familiar with. As we get older, a lot of us do want to stay within the comforts of our own home. We want to stay there because we're familiar with that environment. We've created memories within that environment. It's a home that we've built for decades. And so we want to stay there and age and maintain our independence within our home. But what does that look like if you've received a diagnosis such as MCI or any other cognitive decline related diagnosis? What does that look like for you if you do still want to age in place? And so what this research project sought to understand and to help resolve is, what kind of issues are people that are facing cognitive impairment or any sort of cognitive decline, what are they facing at home? What kind of issues are they facing at home within their day-to-day lives? What kind of activities are they finding a little bit more challenging or a little bit more difficult? And how can we make that easier? So we wanted to understand how cognition, how a decline in cognition, how does that translate into your home environments and how you're interacting with your home environments? And so we had 2 research questions that we wanted to answer in this project. The first one being, what are some of the challenging tasks that you're encountering at home? And so these are daily tasks such as cooking or cleaning, finding items. And then, so what are some of the joyful tasks that you look forward to completing either every day or on a weekly basis? Or what are some things that you look forward to doing and that keep you content within your home? And then we wanted to further build upon that question by understanding how your home environment contributes to either these challenging or difficult tasks or these joyful tasks. So more specifically, how does the design layout of your home, even down to the way that your furniture is arranged in your home, whether it be in your living room or your bathroom or your bedroom or your kitchen, how is the layout of your home either facilitating these challenges or these difficulties that you may be encountering, or how are they facilitating these joyful tasks that you may be encountering? So we really wanted to understand how the built environment of homes either facilitates aging in place or how it can sometimes be a barrier to aging in place. And so for our research project, we did interviews with some of the members and care partners within the Cognitive Empowerment Program. We completed about a dozen interviews. Some of those interviews were completed with just the member themselves, or it's just the care partner. And then some of those interviews were with the members and the care partners. And so we asked them a variety of questions. The first set of questions that we asked them focused on the challenges that they were facing at home. So some of those questions look like, are you having any difficulty remembering where you left certain items or remembering certain tasks? Are you having any difficulty physically accessing certain things in your home? And so from those questions that we asked, a lot of the responses that we got were centered around these 3 rooms, these 3 spaces within the home. So we heard a lot about problems that some folks were encountering in the kitchen, problems that some folks were encountering in the bedroom, and even in the laundry room. And so I do want to take this opportunity to ask you guys that are watching, if looking at these pictures and you envisioning yourself within your kitchen or your bedroom, or even spaces that aren't exactly pictured here, maybe your bathroom or your bedroom, can you think of any difficulties that you've realized you're seeing more and more these days as opposed to a few years ago? Any challenges that you may be encountering in the kitchen, whether it be cooking, or whether it be accessing a certain shelf, or even cleaning up the kitchen, or any challenges in the bedroom, or even in the bathroom or the living room. Like I said, I did want to ask you guys if you were encountering any difficulty in these areas. And I'll just take a moment for people to respond. And it's great if people aren't experiencing any difficulties. That's also good to hear. So I'll advance to the next slide, and I'll just talk about what we did here from the interviews that we conducted. So a lot of folks were having difficulty remembering where certain things were in the kitchen. So let's say they're preparing a meal or cooking a dish, and they need a certain ingredient or a certain seasoning, or even a certain pan or pot or a baking dish. They're having difficulty remembering where exactly they put that item. And so it triggered this kind of series of events of misremembering the next step when cooking. So let's say you're preparing a meal and you can't find a certain dish. Now some people stated that they were having difficulty remembering the next step in preparing that dish because of not remembering where that certain thing was. So not remembering where something was kind of triggered not remembering how to properly cook that meal or that dish. And there was also some difficulty in accessing some of the things in the kitchen. So in this picture that I have here, there are some shelves that are up high and then some shelves that are low. And so some people stated that when they were trying to, let's say, grab a certain seasoning, having to reach up to get it was a little bit taxing on their body, or even the dishwasher, having to load and unload the dishwasher was physically taxing on their back, or even bending down and repeatedly bending down caused dizziness. So I pulled some quotes from the interviews that we conducted just to give you an idea of what some people were sharing. We were really grateful to interview these people. They were so trusting with us. They were so vulnerable and transparent, and they gave us a lot of raw, rich information about their experiences at home. So this care partner said that it's really hard for them to bend and find things. And you almost want a shelving system where the pots and pans are sitting there just so it's more easily accessed, as opposed to having to open shelves and reach and bend. So an open shelving system they were desiring an open shelving system just to make that a little bit easier for them. And then the next area was the bedroom. So a lot of people were losing personal items in the bedroom, such as the remote to the TV or their reading glasses or even medication. And then another thing that people were encountering, which I found really fascinating and kind of interesting, was that they would go to bed with a clear idea of what they had planned for the next day, any activities or appointments or any tasks they needed to complete for the next day. But when they woke up from going to sleep that night, whether it be in the morning or in the middle of the night, they had trouble remembering what they had on the calendar for that day. And so I thought it really interesting that after waking up, they had difficulty remembering. And so some of the members and care partners came up with a strategy to combat that loss of memory. Some had a calendar in their bedroom, some had sticky notes or write it out. And I remember one care partner in specific shared with us that her and her husband would meet in her office every morning, and she would sit down and just kind of give him a run of show for the day. And that's how they structured their day. They would meet in her office in the morning, and she would just remind him of what they had to do that day, and they would go and conquer their day. And so one member said that I should get a whiteboard in my bedroom so I can know that if something's changed from when I went to bed to when I wake up, and as a reminder of what's going on this morning, and that person is already on the schedule. Another problem area, another hot spot in the home was the laundry room, but more specifically completing the laundry. So it's kind of those same things that people were encountering in the kitchen, difficulty remembering where things were, and then that triggered them to have difficulty remembering how to complete the laundry. So let's say they can't find their fabric softener or the laundry detergent itself. It then causes them to not remember how to complete their laundry well. And so they also had difficulty in finding needed items. And so I specifically chose this picture of a cluttered laundry room because that's the picture that some of our members and care partners in the interviews were painting for us, that their laundry room was cluttered. And so it was hard for them to find what they needed because of all the items that they had in their space. And so we also heard about physical difficulty in accessing the shelves within their laundry room. And this care partner shared that her mother was the member, was struggling a little bit with the laundry, but they were trying to simplify a lot of the steps so that she could continue doing that, because this member did want to continue doing the laundry. And so her care partner was trying to come up with certain strategies to put in place so that the member still could do laundry, but do it in a way that was easier for them. So the next set of questions that we asked in our interviews focus on successes at home, or focus on the joys at home. So what tasks are you doing at home that you really look forward to doing? And we were really intentional about including this piece within our interviews because we didn't just want to focus on difficulties or challenges within the home. And we were also intentional about including this at the end because we wanted the interview to end on a positive note. And so we asked some of our members and care partners, what are some things that you like doing at home? And we also asked some of our members and care partners partners, are there any activities that you prefer to do alone at home? And it was really interesting to see that most of the members and care partners didn't have any activities in particular that they wanted to do alone. They really enjoyed that companionship that their spouse or their sibling provided them with. And so even if they were doing certain things alone, such as going for a walk outside, or maybe even doing something in the kitchen, they would offer to have their care partner accompany them. And sometimes the care partner would decline. And so they would complete that activity alone because the care partner declined, but they still wanted that companionship. So I thought that was just an interesting caveat when we were doing our interviews. And so I have a picture of a sunroom. We heard a lot of people say that they enjoyed engaging with nature at home, and they did that in different ways. And then a lot of people also said that they like to work out at home. So we heard gardening was a really, 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 really big one for people. They really love to be out in their yard gardening. Some people love to walk outdoors and engage with nature in that way. And then a lot of people like to work out inside the home, and they tuned into some of the virtual programming that the Cognitive Empowerment Program offers. So Get Active and Tai Chi and yoga. They would even create spaces within their home to be able to complete those activities. So even in the living room, they would clear out a space so that they could participate with the virtual programming. And then the last thing that we heard was artwork. Some people had a designated space within their home to complete their art or to do their art. And it was something that they really looked forward to. It was something that they found contentment in, and it was something that helped them to stay motivated within their home. And so one care partner stated that their member loved dancing, and they danced wherever they were, be it in the living room or in the backyard. They'll dance wherever there's a spot to dance. And I love that, because how can you stay upset if you're dancing? How can you be in a bad mood if you're moving your body, if you're being physically active, and if you're dancing? So I wanted to ask the audience if there were any joyful tasks that you all completed at home, if there were things that you do throughout your week or throughout your day, or maybe even on a monthly basis that you really, really look forward to. And it's something that you want to hold on to and hopefully continue doing as the years pass by and as you continue to hopefully age in place. I know I remember in a couple of the interviews, one member said that they enjoyed sitting on the couch and putting on their favorite TV show, and that is what they looked forward to. That is what brought them contentment. And I absolutely love that, because I do the same thing as well. I'm a big Netflix watcher, and so I'll binge shows on Netflix, and it's just a mindless activity that I enjoy doing. I heard some people say that they have puzzles that they complete at home. They have a space on their kitchen table where they have a bunch of puzzle pieces, and they work on that puzzle whenever they have some downtime, just to keep their mind going, keep their mind stimulated. And it's something that they get to work on when they just have some free time. I can't see the chat, but I see people.
We got some good answers. Let's see. So far, we've got that people definitely enjoy their sunroom. Norma says she enjoys jigsaw puzzles, cleaning the house. Dale says enjoying art and music at home. We've got gardening, yard work, Tai Chi, yoga, sports shows. Nadine has one of my favorites, resting and relaxing.
That is that's a personal favorite for me.
And Vicky has completing puzzles together. I think that's a really good one, especially when we talk about, fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination, bonding together, doing those puzzles. Oh, walking my dog, another one.
We heard that. I did Think Tank today, and so I presented this earlier, and I heard that as well. Some people really enjoyed their time with their pets. Ironically enough, in the interviews that we did, a lot of people didn't have pets, but it was brought up today that people really, really enjoyed that quality time with their pets and just loving on their pets, and then their pets loving on them. So, and I have a dog, so I enjoy that as well.
And we also got dancing, which I know at CEP, we do a research study with dancing, and just know that it just is one of those things that makes you feel good. It makes you feel joyful.
Yes, yes. And if I could dance, I would, but I am not rhythmically inclined. But it is something that I love to watch other people do. So after we completed all of our interviews, we went through them and we reviewed them, and we wanted to figure out what were people really telling us? What were a lot of the common things that we heard? And how can we group them together to come up with an overall theme for those problems? And so we did that for all of our interviews, and we came up with these 5 things that we kept hearing over and over again within our interviews. And so the first thing was less is easier. And so that means that the less space that you have, the easier it is to navigate within your home, and it's easier to maneuver. In some of the interviews, people were still living in these really, really big houses. Their kids had left, they were empty nesters. It was just them and their spouse. And they commented that it was just too much house for them. And that sometimes all of that extra unused space could sometimes cause confusion in navigating and just remembering where even certain rooms are. We also heard that less items in the home, so maybe decluttering the home, less items. The less items you have, the less items you have to take care of. The less items you have, the less likely you are to lose those items. So we found that simplifying your environment will help, is something that you can put in place to help you age in place if that's something that you want to do. So less is easier. And then the second thing that we heard was visual accessibility. And so what does that mean? So I spoke on this a little bit when I was talking about problems that people were having in the kitchen and in the laundry room. They forget where certain things are. And so we heard that if certain things weren't in people's in direct line of sight or in their view, then they forget that they have them. So it's kind of that concept of out of sight, out of mind. If you can't see that you have this pot or this pan in your kitchen, then you forget that you have it. If you can't see that you have these dryer sheets in your laundry room, then you forget that you have it. So visual accessibility was another thing. Physical accessibility was a really, really big one. And it was people had issues with physical accessibility in different contexts. So some people said that going up and down their stairs was getting a little bit harder as their body continued to age. Some people said that cleaning had become a difficult task for them, having to bend down and clean out their tub, or bend over and clean their toilet, or even bending over and unloading and loading their dishwasher had become physically taxing for them. And so they want to clean, they like cleaning, but it's harder for them to do. And so some people had even hired people to help them clean up. Another thing that we heard with physical accessibility was furniture. So like sitting down in their couch and then having a hard time getting back up. It wasn't something that they could do with ease anymore. So we heard a few different things around physical accessibility. Another thing we heard was the therapeutic activities at home. Whenever we got to that portion of the interview, people lit up and they loved telling us about what they enjoyed doing at home. And so we really wanted to include that in our findings, and we really wanted to include that with what we produced from this research. And then the last thing that we heard was routine item locations at home. So a lot of us, and I'm even guilty of this, I lose a lot of things, but some of the members and care partners had come up with a strategy for reducing losing their items, reducing losing items. And so they would have a certain place that they stored things that they needed. So for example, maybe having a key ring to keep your keys on, or having a set place that you have your remote or your glasses, but those things that you need often, just having a certain place or having a home for them, if you will, so that when you need to get them, you know exactly where to go. And then when you're finished using it, you know exactly where to put it.
We have a question in the chat, Alon, just
Yes.
about, what qualifies as a therapeutic activity?
Anything that you yourself find therapeutic. So I said that one person said that they just love to sit on their couch and watch TV because that just gave them peace of mind. I heard some people say that they like to turn on music and clean up and just do mindless things things that didn't cause them or call for them to have to think. So just things that help you to unwind, help you to feel at peace, feel calm, anything that you find therapeutic. And that can be a range of things. I know for me personally, I'm a rester. I like to rest. I also like to watch TV, but sometimes I like to go out and be around nature. So I like to go on hikes or walks. So it all depends on what you find therapeutic. There's no right or wrong answer for that one. So we came up with a few design solutions from those 5 themes that we found in our interviews. We didn't want to just ask people, hey, what problems are you having at home? And then that just be the end of our research. We wanted to be able to provide them with some design solutions that they could implement within their homes, if they choose to do so, to help them with some of those problems and those challenges that they were encountering. Oops. So for the first thing, less is easier, we recommend optimizing the number of spaces, rooms, and floors in the home. And so if you're able to do so, if you have a lot of house and you don't need all of that house and you're willing to relocate, we recommend possibly downsizing. We did interview one couple that had taken that step. Their son had graduated, I think from college. He wasn't living at home anymore. And they just decided, we don't need this house anymore. And so they downsized to a condo. And then if that's not something that you want to do or something that you're interested in, just making each room in your house purposeful, each floor in your house purposeful. We did hear that certain rooms are on different floors in the house. So maybe the bathroom is on the main level and then the kitchen is downstairs and then your bedroom is upstairs. So having to go on these different floors every day, that can be tiring and exhausting for having to do that every day. So maybe intentionally designing your home or redesigning your home, restructuring your home so that everything is on one level or just everything is close by. Another thing that we recommended was organizers. So I have an example of an organizer that someone put in their pantry, in their kitchen, and then an organizer even for the bathroom so that you know where everything is. And so that even if you're like me and you're sentimental and you like to hold on to things, having it organized, that will also make it easier. So less is easier, but organization is also easier. The second thing, visual accessibility, the out of sight, out of mind concept. In the kitchen specifically, we recommend either transparent cabinet doors, and if you aren't interested in that, maybe even no doors on the cabinet at all, and implementing an open shelving system so that you can see what's in the cabinet, so that you can see what you have in your kitchen or even in your bedroom or your bathroom. But just having either transparent cabinet doors or an open shelving system so that you're able to see all of what you have. We also recommend lighting. Lighting's a big thing. So lighting inside the cabinets and even lighting up under the cabinetry so that it can illuminate the countertop so that you can see what you're doing when you're in your kitchen or in your bathroom. And even lighting in your closet, your clothes closets or your pantries, just so that you can see what you're doing. And then also visual and audio reminders. So maybe a whiteboard in your kitchen or in your room, kind of going back to some of the problems that people were having in their bedroom, going to sleep at night and having a clear idea of what you had planned for the next day, and then waking up and forgetting what you have planned for that day. Having a visual reminder such as a whiteboard or even just a calendar, that will help. That helps a lot. And then even audio reminders. I'm not sure how everyone feels about Google Homes or Alexas, but you can program those devices to give you reminders such as taking out the trash or feeding your pet or even taking medication. You can use those things to help you remember certain things. And then physical accessibility, our first recommendation was carefully considering the furniture that you have, specifically your seats, so your couches, your chairs, making sure they're the right size and height to ensure your ease of accessibility. So making sure that when you sit down, you're sitting down with ease, and when you're getting back up, you're getting back up with ease. The second recommendation we have is a flexible design of this space to accommodate seating while doing tasks like cooking and cleaning. So going back to my example of loading and unloading the dishwasher, if you have a seat nearby, you can sit down and do that, and that can make that task a little easier for you. Or even if you're in your bathroom cleaning, just maybe having a seat while you're doing that will make that more feasible for you and make it more comfortable for your body while you're doing those things. And then the therapeutic activities at home. So we really want people to have a designated space for these activities. So if you're one of those people that likes to work out at home, maybe having like an area where you can lay out your yoga mat and whatever workout equipment you have at home so that you are able to complete that task. Or if you like to do artwork, having a station for you to complete your artwork. And we recommend this because if you have a space in your home to do those tasks, you're more likely to do them, and you're more likely to engage with these activities that bring you joy and contentment and peace of mind and all of those good things. And so we really want people to do this. And I think this is one of those strategies that are probably a little bit easier to implement than other strategies. And then I think this is our last design solution, preserving routine item locations at home. So just having a fixed location or a home, if you will, for some of those items that you use often. So your keys, your car keys, if you're like me and every time you're leaving the house, you need to find your keys, you can't find them, just having a key ring or a key rack to put them on, that helps a lot. Or even having something to put your remote controls in so that when you're watching TV or you're trying to watch TV, you know exactly where your remote is, or even maybe a box to put certain things in. I remember in one of the interviews, one of the members said that they had a box on their bedstand that had all of their items that they needed. So their glasses, even their medication, it was right there. So when they woke up either in the middle of the night or the next day, they could access those things, and they were right there. And whenever they were done using those things, they put them right back in the box so that the risk of losing them was reduced to basically none. And so that is all of what we've accomplished so far. Our research is ongoing. So we're in the phase of writing up a paper and just culminating all of our findings. And then once we do that, we are working on another project. So we want to provide you all with a home design guideline, a home design toolkit, so that you can go through your home and room by room, implement some strategies to help you age in place if you would like to do that. So going into your living room, your bedroom, your bathroom, even your kitchen, giving you some strategies easy do-it-yourself strategies that you can do, cost-efficient strategies that you can implement so that you can make living at home a little bit easier and just more feasible. And if we have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer.
This was so great, Alon. I love that your solutions are, they're not having your home remodeled. It's little things like having a dish for your keys, having things in your eye line, having things be organized where you can see them at first glance. And sometimes it takes a little nudge, I think, to get those principles in place in our home. There is a question in the chat from Jennifer. Any landscape suggestions? I have a very steep driveway. This is one of those things I've seen a lot too, Jennifer. My family's from Cincinnati. So seeing things like handrails that are installed
Mhm.
all the way up the
Mhm.
driveway are really easy solutions. Again, we're not tearing your driveway out and having it totally rebuilt, but adding a handrail down the side of the steep driveway, maybe something that's a really simple solution. Maybe having a contractor or a family friend come and dig post holes and add that handrail is a really, really nice thing to offer. Dale says, can I email you for layout design ideas? How open are you to these emails, Alon?
I am so open. Yes, please email me. And I would love that because we're also trying to wrap up that project that I just mentioned, where it's this entire booklet that you can go room by room and implement these strategies. The booklet, it gives you these some design solutions. And then at the end of each section, so at the end of each room section, there's a checklist that you can go by to make sure that you're checking things off your list and that your room is whatever room that you're working on is up to par. So if you email me and you're interested in that, then we do want to disseminate that once we wrap that up, which will be very, very soon. We do want to disseminate that and get feedback on it before we send it out into the world, before its final version is sent out into the world. So I would love if you have any questions that you want answers to, or if you're even interested in receiving that design toolkit, or at least the first version of it, please email me. We'd be more than happy to send you that.
And the more we understand about what your challenges are at home, the more we can help to address some solutions. So no challenge is too small. Feel free to reach out to Alon and let her know the things in your house that are barriers to doing the things that you love, or to even enjoy your home safely. If you have any questions for her, her email is listed here, Alon, elahn.little@design.georgiatech.edu. So I'm hoping that you'll come back and share with us again on CEP Live. Once all of that information comes out, we would love to be able to offer that to our audience. But if you're interested in receiving that guide, that design guide for your home from Alon, send her an email and let her know. We just dropped a little bit of information into the chat. If you're interested in enjoying the Cognitive Empowerment Program research study, we've got a phone number and a link in the chat where you can reach out to us and be able to, connect with these services. We've got a lot of great feedback in the chat saying excellent presentation. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for this valuable information. There's a lot of people in the chat that would like to have that emailed to you. Even if you drop your information in the chat, if you want to send us your email, we can send the chat script to Alon after the fact. So feel free to drop your email into the chat if you just want her to reach out with that email. Otherwise, we'll be recording our session today. We'll be posting it to our YouTube page. You can even just go onto YouTube and Google the Cognitive Empowerment Program, and all of our information will come up on our page. We've got a link to our registration. We've got a link to our weekly email list there in the chat for you guys as well. So thank you all so much for participating. Thank you for sending those emails in. We'll keep the chat open for just a few more moments. If you guys want to send in your email addresses and be able to connect with Alon as this latest research comes out, her and her team have been working on it tirelessly. And so send us your information. We'll leave that open for just a few more moments. And Alon, thank you so much for coming in this week and sharing with us. We're so excited to be able to address really big issues in the home with really kind of straightforward and affordable solutions.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I can't wait to get that out because I feel like a lot of people will find that beneficial and helpful and just enjoyable. I think our main goal is we want people, if they want to age and if they want to stay home, we want to make that possible. We want to help you guys achieve that. And so, yes, please send your emails. And like I said, we're wrapping it up. We've been working on it for a very long time, but it's in its final stages. So we would love to get that feedback from you guys, and then just also to provide you with that resource that we hope you guys use.
Thank you, Alon. Thank you to all of our familiar participants that are joining in. And thank you to everyone who contributed to Alon's research, especially if you're a member or a care partner who was able to share your
Yes.
home with her. We really appreciate you guys. And we will see you all next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Alon.